Hello and welcome to Soups and Sabers. My name is Jordan. With me, as always, discussing Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is Chris. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing all right. I got to be honest. I'm about as tired as Matt Murdock carrying Dex through the tunnel there, to a side up. But I don't have anyone as angry as Karen on the other side, so I think I'm doing okay.
That's good. That's good. Um, yeah, we're talking Born Again Season 2, Episode 5, titled The Grand Design, which was written by Jesse Wigato and directed by Angela Barnes. So, this episode was pretty interesting. We had we kind of were wondering, is Vanessa dead? Is she alive at the end of the last episode? And I think we both thought she was pretty much dead. There was part of this where it seemed to make it seem like she was going to hang on there, but I do think she is now probably officially getting called dead. We'll see if they stretch it out to another episode, I guess. But um, what the kind of I had heard before this was like a flashback episode, um, and I was kind of wondering how that would play out. And it's not like a full flashback episode, obviously. Now that we've seen it, it kind of jumps around between with some very visual language of when you're in the past being like full screen aspect ratio, and then the widescreen in the present. Uh, and we got to see a lot of characters, you know, uh, back. Right, we got to see Foggy back. We got to see Wesley, which was of
Yeah.
course Fisk's fixer, right hand man, back in season one of Daredevil on Netflix. What did you make of seeing some familiar faces and revisiting a period that took place before season one of the original show?
It was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting it, but it was a full circle moment. Like it brought everything back to everything we knew from the previous series. And you were talking about that bridge before, that bridge between Born Again and the Netflix show. And that bridge has even been built a little further. I thought what they did with the art gallery and Vanessa and the painting was really good. It was nice to see the old cast of characters around the Fisk Empire. It was nice to see Kingpin back in his original Kingpin days, and how everything came together. But my favorite parts of this were, the Murdock and Nelson stuff. Like that
Yeah.
was Nelson and Murdoch stuff was fantastic in my opinion. So I was a big fan of this episode because I thought it filled in a lot of blanks. It was really character driven. And after we got spoiled with action in the previous episode, to take a minute but still have huge stakes of task forces right down their neck. Dex might die in the tunnel. He keeps saying Foggy's name. He like almost like he wants Matt to kill him.
Hmm.
There's a lot going on, and I just thought it was a really good way to do it. And to see the flashback through Vanessa's lens was a creative way to do the flashback because you wouldn't think that would be where we were getting our flashback engine, but that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, we they're working as interns at Landman and Zach. This is where they're saving up their money to open up their own business, and they got like what 1,700 or something in their
Not
name.
anymore.
Not anymore. No, they give it to
Yeah.
Lionel McCoy, also known as Ray, who was, I guess, one of Foggy's best friend's brother,
Hmm.
and he pleads for him to get out and make a fresh start. And during this is what kind of like these flashbacks are occurring for almost all of these characters back to this time. Matt's thinking back to it because this is kind of what gets him to say, I gotta help uh you know um Dex anyway, right? Like he's leaving that church, and then he sees that flashback of Foggy going out of his way to take the money to Ray, and he kind of then turns around and goes back in that church and saves him. Uh, which was an awesome shot, by the way. That shot, we saw it in the trailer, where he's like holding his hand out, and Bullseye grabs it and he lifts him up.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool shot to start um, that partnership. They were kind of reluctant partners for the first little bit of this episode where they're running around and
Anytime they're partners, they will be reluctant partners. It's not like they're going to start liking each other.
but it's a little bit more like, I don't know. It felt a little bit more like we're putting aside our differences here, uh, and he's extending that hand, which
Well, look,
not
I enjoy this.
earlier.
I enjoy this because anytime Matt can get guilt when his morality from people rather than his faith, I like that because I think sometimes you go to the well so much with the Catholic stuff that like it almost tortures Matt and it's almost unfair. But like following the example of the best person you knew, your best friend, who did this very selfless deed, and you like bringing up the selfless deed. Yeah, I think that set up everything. The story wise, it made sense. Sometimes with the religion, it's like, oh come on, man. But with Foggy, it
I
was
have a
more
question for
personal.
you. Is Matt pro Pope Leo?
I would assume. I think it's a pretty safe assumption. I'm pretty
No,
sure he's
I
not.
agree.
I'm pretty sure he's not pro JD right now. Pretty sure he would have a problem with that doctor image. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
Matt
yeah,
Murdock
yeah,
would
yeah,
have
yeah.
some
No, I mean,
opinions.
yeah, we talked
I
about what
mean,
Fisk represents, right? Like, it's
yeah, like,
obviously he's pro Pope Leo.
well, it's funny. It's funny that you bring it up because we every week I feel like we hint at the line between reality and this show is so incredibly thin right now. You even did
Yeah,
the thin blue line joke the other week, but
yeah,
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then all the imagery with the Punisher logo on the task force stuff. There's
yeah,
so
yeah,
much going on that just it reflects like the problems with like the systemic systems we have right now. So this show is incredibly cathartic. But I really do like that he got guilted like a morality lesson from something other than the Bible, because sometimes I really feel like when it's coming from a person, it's more personal. The audience can relate to it more. I can anyway. It seems more valiant. It seems because a lot of times it's just like, okay, you're torturing yourself because you're religious.
yeah. No, I mean, I think you know w- we're talking about Foggy here, who he's consistently told people not to really mention his name,
Mm-hmm.
especially Dex, but he's mentioned it a few other times. Um, and when this memory of Foggy's selflessness is what we didn't really touch on, right? Is that this Ray guy or Lionel, whatever name you want to give
Mm-hmm.
him, I guess here is somebody that kind of would bully him, um, at least verbally, or at least give him crap. Called him Foggy Fembot, right? Uh,
He doesn't like the person, but it is his old friend's brother, and he has compassion.
Right. So what Matt is equating this to is, this is the guy that killed Foggy. I shouldn't want to help him. I shouldn't help him, but Foggy would probably help him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh so, Foggy helped his bully, I'll help mine, essentially, because we have a
Yeah.
common goal right now, taking down Fisk. Um one thing that didn't work for me in the flashbacks as much is Matt seemingly not caring if this innocent guy would go to jail. I mean, he's not innocent in the sense
Mm-hmm.
of he did get caught doing stuff before, but like, we knew it was a setup. What happens in this
Right.
case, right, is that he's going to go to jail and they want him to not just like not go to trial, so that way they can get him in there to their inside men who are going to kill him because he's working with this gang, right? So Foggy finds out there's an error. They got the address wrong on the warrant, which means anything that they found in Ray's place would be null and void and inadmissible in court. So that's like getting off on a technicality. Matt kind of has this like, he did do the crime, but I guess it's not my problem if he's going to die in prison. You know what it kind of felt like? It kind of felt like Toby Spider-Man with the robber
Yeah, a
letting
little
him
bit.
through and then it getting
It
a
sounds like
bad
it's not my
circumstance.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to say it really whiny and sarcastic. It sounds like it's not my problem. And you got to look at the
Right,
guy
right.
and be like, haha, he got away with it. I was actually thinking more of BVS Batman with this. Like, the idea that it doesn't really matter what happens to them if they're bad people. But,
Mm,
that from the jaded Batman. But,
yeah.
yeah, I do think there was a little bit of a contrivance. Like they had to make Bat's position work with this episode because season one Netflix show, you want to really see that side of Matt. But that's also after Nelson, Foggy Nelson has his effect on him. So it worked for me, but I do see a little bit of a contrivance.
Yeah, and in fact, I think like some of what Foggy acted like in the original show would probably lean more to how Matt was acting in that
Mm-hmm.
flashback. There's a few times where, Foggy and Karen are like, "Is it so bad if Kingpin is to die?" Right?
Well,
And
but it's still on that. Karen's still on that.
right, right.
Karen's not going to be a very happy person in the next episode. I can tell you that.
She likes the bad boys though, right? Like can she like
If
Dex the way she likes Frank?
I got news for you. The Frank stuff, I understand. I get it. Cool.
John
If she
Bernthal, you
starts
like
liking,
him?
I mean, he's a cool dude. Like I respect the aura. If she gets into it with Dex that way, I'm gonna have a problem. He's
No, again,
that
they're
guy killed Foggy.
yeah.
Like
Well, and her and
the
her
idea that they
Matt are
no.
together anyway.
Well,
So
yeah, but like I do not want a love triangle is what I'm saying. I I've said that from before I even thought there could be one. Don't give me love drama, just give me the love. I don't
right,
care.
right.
You know?
You talked about the bridge to the original show, and we've talked about it
Mm-hmm.
every single week. And I felt like I was gonna say my piece on it last week and be done, but uh,
No, you put
then this episode
that
happened.
image in my you put that image in my head of the bridge. Like when you said
Yeah,
that, I was like, that's the perfect way to say that because it's exactly what they're doing. I also like how you thought that season one could almost be like an alternate reality of this world of this show, and
right,
like
right.
when you think of it that way, it really does tie things together a little bit better. But I really do. I really like that bridge metaphor because it's true. Like it's what they're doing. They're building a bridge.
Yeah, it's getting like I said before. It was kind of hard at times last year, as much as I liked Born Again season one, to square it away in my mind of this is a continuation because there was so
Mm-hmm.
much new stuff and Karen was barely in it, right? We get this season with Karen as a full-time cast member. We have Wilson Bethel as Poindexter back, right? We have
The band's
and
back
having
together.
a bigger role
Mm-hmm.
than last season. We had Frank appear last year, but that was not
But
for
Frank still has
long.
a presence in here. Like what I like about it is you don't have John Bernthal, but you literally have the Punisher have a presence in this show.
Yeah, and
And
his ideals,
especially,
right, are
yeah,
parroted by
exactly.
Karen and the
Yeah.
AVTF people, right? So,
Yeah. So
um,
absolutely.
so you have that, and when you get this flashback episode and you get Wesley, I was kind of wondering like if he would pop up in this, or if they'd kind of try to get around it somehow. You know how sometimes when you
It
can't get
doesn't look like
everybody
he aged
back,
a minute.
what?
It doesn't look like he aged a minute.
Oh no, yeah, he looked pretty good. I mean, we're talking about what, an 11-year-old show
Yeah. You would
at
think
this
that
point.
some of that hair would go a little gray, Or
Oh, they
maybe
could
they're
dye
just
it if they needed to, but
maybe
yeah,
I swear it didn't look like he aged him in.
no, he
Well,
looks
they
good.
made Vanessa look younger too, so I mean they do have their tricks. But I was like, dude, is that the same actor? Holy crap!
Yeah, and they did like this cool reveal of him, and they also have
Mhm.
Fisk wearing. I totally forgot he was wearing like the black pinstripe suit back in season one.
Yeah,
He didn't have the
and
white.
I missed that look actually. I think that's a good Kingpin look.
Hmm.
I think the all white suit gets a little boring sometimes. I know it's his signature look, but like
Yeah, give us the
Mhm.
Hawkeye look. Give us the
Yeah,
Hawaiian shirt again.
absolutely. Well, look, I mean, he was technically wearing a Hawaiian shirt at one point in this episode.
Was he? Which one? Which
The
part?
flashback with Vanessa,
Oh, when they're on the beach or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or like the little daydream thing, yeah. Um, you don't like pineapple juice; it makes your lips tingle.
But yeah, so getting Wesley back, and
Mhm.
one way that they really squared this away even more is having Wesley meet up uh with uh
Buck,
um Buck
Buck Cashman.
Cashman, right?
Hmm.
As his like hired hand to kill people. And I think people say this kind of links into Daredevil season 1, where there's people that were like kind of staged as suicides, and that were scared to talk against Fisk or whatever. People think that that means that Wesley hired Buck to carry those out and stage them as suicides. I saw season 1 for the most recent time I saw season 1 was last year. So I can't, of the original show. I can't
Hmm.
pull that, and I meant to go back and try to see what people were talking about a little bit more, but
It's one of those things that you can headcanon that. You can totally headcanon that. I actually like the idea of Wilson Fisk committing the crimes himself because he can.
yeah, yeah. But it's nice
Because
to
at
just
that
know
time,
that like when you
yeah.
get these little pieces of like retcons, as we can call them,
Hmm.
right? Because they are,
Yeah.
they're retro continuity changes to
Yeah.
the original show. Uh, that is what's helping. Like, okay, Buck's been here the whole time. That helps. That helps knowing that, because it's kind of like, or
Hmm.
everybody was calling him last season like New Wesley, right? Is how they're like the new Wesley, like the second hand guy,
And to be fair, they probably built it so that they have their cake and eat it too. He
right?
was the
Well,
new Wesley until he wasn't.
yeah, yeah, that was probably the plan for the original run. Was like, we're not
Hmm.
gonna have Wesley, we're gonna have this guy. Um, and getting that squared away now, where it's like we're retroactively kind of adding in that continuity to the original show, because not just the fans were asking for it, but the cast. Like,
Hmm.
two of the biggest things that happened was Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox going and being like, this isn't working. Like, we want to do the original thing.
Yeah, they know how it feels when it's right. They really
Right.
do. And Deborah Wall, you like had to be a part of this. Like it was a really integral part of the show. Like it just had to happen. But I my one of my favorite parts of this episode, speaking about going back to the flashback with Wesley, and he's like, we should look into Bitcoin. And even back then, Bitcoin wasn't cool. I love it. I love it. I was like, yeah, take that, crypto nerds.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that was
but
fun.
Bitcoin is worth money though.
Yeah, I
So
guess.
I think it was meant to be like, we'll like, looking at it 11 years ago, they could be like, oh, that actually took off and made some money. I don't even know how any of that stuff works. And they're like, we're bit mining this stuff. I don't know anything like that. I've tried
I have
reading
have made
what
fun
that
of it for so
is.
many years.
I remember
I
one
just had
time
to
I
make fun of it.
was where was it? I guess it was 2019. I went to, or around then, I went to Orioles Fan Fest. It was one of
Hmm.
the last years they did it at the convention center. And I was in line outside the year, outside the convention center, and there was a person selling water to people in line, and his sign said he took cash, like credit and Bitcoin. It was just
You
a
know?
regular street vendor guy walking up and down
Yeah,
the things. I was like, that was one of the only times I've seen anybody say that they take Bitcoin when I've been out and about. But apparently it's
yeah.
worth stuff. I don't know how any of that
Look,
is worth.
all I know is anyone who's been super into Bitcoin has been a person I have not wanted in my life. It's been very consistent. Like it's just been super, super consistent.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Wesley arranged for the art gallery to serve as one of Wilson Fisk's front, which will eventually lead him to meet Vanessa. So I'm trying to wonder, like, how far in the past this is compared to this original show, because I think Nelson and Murdock had just opened up, or was very
I yeah,
early.
I took it as it's months before.
That's what I'm thinking. It's got to be like a year or less
Yeah, it
before.
can't be more than a year because then the pieces won't fit into place. But
Right,
it
right.
can't be more than a few months.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm. Because they have to get enough money to be able to still open their thing. So depending
Right.
on how that works.
Not only that, but they need to make it so there's enough space in between the show, but not enough space that you can fill too much in, like it gets
Yeah,
confusing. So,
yeah.
I mean, that
Well,
would
that
make
makes me
sense to me.
wonder. What do you think? Do we get more flashbacks at this time period to kind of keep Foggy in the show like next year?
I mean, I don't know that we keep getting flashbacks to this particular moment, but with Foggy, you could flashback to any point of the show's history.
Because what I would actually really like to do is flashback to between seasons 3 and Born Again 1.
That would be cool.
That's what I would want. Like if we're getting another
Yeah.
flashback next season, that's what I would think would be really interesting time frame. It's like when everything was going good for them. I want to see
Right.
that flashback.
I wouldn't mind like law school flashbacks either. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've gotten a lot of Matt as a kid flashbacks. I just show us different stuff when you flashback. That's all I'm
Hmm.
asking. Just keep it very varied because the flashback thing gets a little tired. Just ask Arrow.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's when you're trying to do it, I guess, every episode. Some shows made it work. Lost had some good flashbacks throughout their 6 seasons, but they had to switch it up at some times because, like you said, it can kind of get like, how many times can we tell a story, especially Arrow, when you're like, how many times can we tell a story about him doing stuff on the island with people he
Right,
will run into later in life somehow popping up in this little span of time he's on
right.
the island?
Well, and then you had to get him off the island and into like Tokyo and stuff. As like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What a silly time that was. Some of those flashbacks in Arrow.
So,
I don't
well,
think we'll
some of
get as
them were,
many for
yeah,
this.
yeah. No, no, I don't think so. Some of those Arrow flashbacks were like they came up with this for this specific episode just now, and then they have to make sense of it later.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, how can we tie in what we're talking
Yeah,
about onto the island? Um, so we get we get BB coming in to ask uh Daniel. So like, what's Vanessa's status, right?
dude,
And
Daniel is such a loser. Like I I called like I paused it. And I said he's gonna. I was like I just can't take it. He's gonna tell her. He's gonna tell her, and he told her.
yeah, but so do you think BB did leak that to the people outside that report it later, or is there another leak? Because it wasn't
Okay,
long after BB left.
to be fair, if all those people are at the hospital, it's not that well of a kept secret.
Right, right.
But the critical condition part, yeah, I think she leaked it.
Maybe she ran with it first, or she knew she would get in trouble if she ran with it, so she leaked it to somebody else. That's possible.
That's possible too. Like I think she did it responsibly, but yeah, I think it's a BB thing for sure. And like, I mean, Daniel thinks it's a BB thing. He thinks he's getting killed for it.
Yes. What do
Love
you
that
think? Did
tweet.
you think this
I
was
love.
the end of Daniel?
I did. I did. I was like, do it, Buck. Do it, Buck. I was rooting for it. I was like, do it. He's not
I was
going
like,
on
don't
me.
kill him. Don't kill him, Buck.
Uh,
Don't do it.
he's such a putz. But One of my favorite scenes of the whole thing, though, which I want to give Daniel some credit. I'm kind of being joking at this point
Mhm.
because, like, it's established he's not my favorite character. But one of my favorite things is he turns the car on and then he turns it off, and like he would have gotten killed if he left the car left
Yeah.
that lot. Like that would have killed him for sure. So it's a good thing he turned it off. But now Buck kind of knows he's guilty one way or the other, because why would you act like that if you know what I mean? If you didn't think you were guilty.
Maybe. I would be really curious to see what Buck thinks because I mean you're talking about Buck who is like Fisk's guy who takes care
Yeah.
of people that like if you are getting prompted to just drive up with him, you might think, even if you are completely innocent, you might think, I'm dead, aren't
Yeah.
I? Like I know how
But
this business
yeah,
goes.
I think Buck thinks Daniel's guilty, and Daniel like he would probably kill him if like he was Fisk. But I think he's like, I can use this guy because he will do absolutely anything.
That's true. That's a good point too. I mean,
And I think that's why Fisk has left him alone in the first place.
right. We keep talking. There's going to be a time where Daniel cannot get talk his way out of it, and
Well, what
it almost looked like
I
this
thought
time.
BB was going to be the person in the trunk.
That's what I thought too, and I was actually
Mm-hmm.
very happy to see it was Sava, the guy that
It
and it
makes
made
more
so much more
sense.
sense. It
Yeah,
did
yeah,
because we knew last time we saw Buck had taken was
right,
killed him, right, and
yeah.
probably
Like
didn't have
bad
time to
writing,
dispose of
right?
the body because Fisk got whisked away
Mm-hmm.
to the hospital
Yeah,
for Vanessa. So now they have time now that they know she's out of surgery and in critical
a
condition.
show
They
of
can go
lesser
take care
writing
of
would have had that BB. Like if it was a bad writing
yeah,
show,
yeah.
it would have been BB because that's the heavy-handed thing to do.
Right. It's like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Daniel thought it was probably going to be too. He probably thought it was going to
Right,
be BB until
and
he
then
opens up.
I'm like, I do want to see a situation where Daniel has to choose BB or Fisk. I do want to see what happens in that situation because I'm not
Me
sure what he
too.
would do, man. I'm not, and
Still,
I feel
yeah.
like that's what they're building towards.
That's what I think the end game is for this
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, will Daniel he's straddling a line right now, right? Of
Yeah,
I'm giving stuff to BB, I'm helping her because it's helping me, but and we know he likes her. He wants to date her. He was saying like,
and
I've
I'm
never been on
curious
a
how
date like
I'm
this.
curious what his feelings are. Like I'm
Yeah.
curious what his feelings are. Like he doesn't seem like a guy who keeps his feelings in check. Like I think he's probably on a cloud way too high for this situation.
Yeah, and we see him fielding calls with reporters saying no comment, no comment, no comment.
And then it's BB, and it's like she's in critical condition. BB, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Right.
Even though he
So
tells her everything she wants.
it's a weakness for him that might
Dude,
either get him killed
BB could
or
say
get her killed.
absolutely anything. She could say, "Hi, Daniel, would you like to eat some poison?" And he would eat the poison. He's a dog begging for a treat.
But we did see him give her that warning before, right? At dinner. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, is that him playing tough? Will he actually do something about it?
Mm-hmm. Is that him playing tough, or is that him caring about her? That's the problem. We don't know. It could be
Right,
either.
right.
You know?
And I'm kind of sitting here thinking too, like, could it have been the way that she asked too?
Mm-hmm.
I think the one person on the phone asked if she had died.
What
BB
kind of
asked
stupid
if she
question
was
is that? Yeah,
alive. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it could be something like that where it's like, you're asking more of like a almost sort of like if she's alive, like that's a
Well, she
good thing
connected to him
compared
as
to
a
it.
friend.
Yeah.
She connected to him as a friend. She's her voice changed. She did and all she's got to do is get the doe eyes, and he's gone anyway.
Right, right.
So I mean, he's down. He's down bad. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but he has to know she's part of this leaked for
Look,
not just the
uh,
fake Fisk
yeah.
thing is got to be.
Look, all I know is I called Daniel IHOP, International House of Putts.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for him there, but I'm really curious, especially now that, like you said, Buck might either have that suspicion, might use
Mm-hmm.
him to do
Buck
stuff.
had so much fun with that. He had
With,
so much fun with that.
and he's also now making him help him chop up a body. That changes you, man. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
that can't
you're
be good.
taking any innocence away. So
Yeah.
because we always wondered if Daniel knew he was with the bad guys or if he had rationalized things. No, he
Right,
knows he's
right,
with the
right.
bad guys at this point. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's losing his innocence. This is his coming of age story almost in that sense. He's picked a side
Yeah.
at this point. You pick up that shovel, you pick a side.
Yeah. No, I agree, but at this point, if you're him too, you're in the middle of the woods with Buck. If you don't do it,
Oh
you're
yeah, I
dead.
mean you're gonna do it. Like
Yeah.
I mean, but like you're not coming back from that. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
you're not Daniel. I'm just like this guy who's ambitious. No, you're Daniel who's playing for the bad team.
Yeah, does he get to pull out a I was just obeying orders after this?
I mean, he's Daniel. Whoever he's talking to, he'll say what he has to say.
Yeah. Yeah. What's curious too, like we know that the Mayor Fisk arc is supposed to end at this
Mhm.
season. They've been open about that. If you take a look at Spider-Man uh Brand New Day, it looks like the actress who plays Sheila confirmed that it was her, the one handing the key over to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
if she
and
becomes
to
like the
that, yeah.
mayor, does she keep Daniel if she
No,
becomes mayor?
not a chance. She doesn't like Daniel at all. Um, she's the one who doesn't have patience for him. That's
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure. I think Buck thinks he's useful. I think Wilson Fisk loves his loyalty and like his desperation because it reminds him of his desperation. Because
yeah.
at the
I
root
still
of this,
think Fisk
Fisk
is a little
started like
weary, a little weary of him because he's a little bit of a
he's on the chopping block, but like he might make it to the dessert round. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah.
He's gonna get chopped though. I don't see a situation in which he doesn't get chopped. It's kind of like Victor on Penguin. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I really am curious what happens to these side characters like Buck, like
Mm-hmm,
Daniel, when the Mayor Fisk
mm-hmm,
arc is done. Do we continue following them in Born Again season 3, or do
mm-hmm.
they just kind of fade out? Do some of these people get killed off? Are they in prison with Fisk? Those are the kind of questions I have. Like, we have 3 episodes left of this arc, if that is to be believed. Then there's a lot to wrap up if characters like Daniel and Sheila are able to, let's say Sheila does become mayor. One, is it like I don't know how the New York mayor works. If he's developed in scandal, do they do an election, or does they like almost like going to the vice president for the president? Like, does
So
she get
I
it?
I believe they would have a special election and she would be the mayor until.
Okay, so it's possibly that she could either be filling in or actually still end up running and win it. I would have a
Right.
hard time if I'm a New York citizen. If Fisk gets taken down again, I would have a hard time voting for anybody that was affiliated with him.
Yeah, but if she's the one that takes it down,
That's true.
because you're
She
gonna have
could.
to get
We
public
saw
opinion
her
to right.
with the police commissioner thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So she could
Yeah.
use that to help bring him
If
down.
she brings him down in the public opinion side of things, she's all of a sudden a hero stood up against a bad administration.
Right, right.
So you have because Daredevil can't bring Fisk down for the city. He can bring down the man, but he can't bring down the mayor.
Right, right.
So
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how this plays out in the next 3. But I'm just starting to think like ahead
mhm.
with season 3 here. It's like if we are sometimes I wish we didn't know that already, that the Mayor Fisk
Yeah.
arc was ending. I
Well,
think they could have held
we
that off till the end of the show, end of the season.
well, I think we end up falling into the trap of we know too much anyway.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Fans think they're entitled to know everything, but then they complain when they know everything.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you can't win. Like But Spider-Man's always gonna like convolute this because you've got the actress from who plays Sheila in there. So
Yeah.
like I feel like they had to get out of it in front of it almost.
Well, it doesn't help too that like because and this is not a complaint
Mm-hmm.
because I do want this show to be yearly. But because it is yearly, they are filming now or
Mm-hmm.
season 3 and people are leaking set photos that I know stuff that happens 12 months from now.
So
When I
I
just
saw
kind of
a
want to
rumor.
be I just want to kind of be in the moment of
Yeah,
what this season is doing. But yeah.
I saw a rumor that they were going to do a season 3 of the show and then do a Daredevil movie. Is there any truth to that?
I'm not sure about the movie part. I did see that report as well, but I don't think it was from like a really like I would say
It didn't
reputable
look like
place.
something that I like bought, but like I was like, that would be cool.
Where I fall in line here with the movie is if they were ever to do a Daredevil movie, I think that's a tough sell to the public. And the reason I say that is because that's a lot to catch up on, right? And I
The
guess you could
homework
say it's
problem or the 3 seasons
yeah. If people are talking
of
about
each
homework problem,
show.
this is it
That's six
has
seasons of TV.
6 seasons of TV.
Yeah.
And I know people will say, well, Mandalorian and Grogu are doing it, but that's going to be like I don't think you're going to need a lot of lore to that.
Also, you're like, it's Star Wars. It's Star Wars. It prints money. Like we
Right.
act like Star Wars doesn't print money, and then it does.
But with like Daredevil, if we're doing like a movie that takes place after like season 3 of Born Again, you're talking about 3
Yeah.
seasons of Netflix, 3 seasons of Born Again, possibly Defenders. Uh, I would rather just stay a TV show, and I think that's what they'll
I
probably do.
would, yeah. I would like to see Daredevil continue to pop up in Spider-Man movies. That would be cool.
Yeah, he should pop up in a movie, but I think it's going to be hard. It's hard to do that.
The hype building up for Doomsday is getting me really excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's gonna
As of
be.
this
It's speaking of
recording,
movies, but
we're recording it on Friday.
mhm,
CinemaCon ended yesterday, and they ended with the Doomsday trailer. Obviously, they did not release that, but they
right.
did. There were people there that released the description of what we saw, and that was very exciting.
Hmm.
Um, but
It's gonna be big. But yeah, back to Daredevil. But I'm so excited.
yeah, so we get Vanessa waking up after surgery, and I feel like we should
Hmm.
touch on this part.
Yeah.
She what did you make was happening? Obviously brain damage, right? But like
Hmm.
was it brain damage of like memory issues uh or was it like sometimes if you have traumatic brain injury
It
your
can change the
personality
personality.
changes.
Yeah.
So like with her not originally liking pineapple juice with ice,
Hmm.
but craving it now, was that like she didn't remember she didn't like it, or do you think it was like her brain injury made her change into liking it?
Well, she had a head injury and she lost a lot of blood from that head injury.
Yeah.
I took it as the coding of the words, almost like when you get a stroke, the coding of the words were different. So the words aren't always going to be the words. And then I thought the memory problem, like getting stuck in that loop, was so two separate issues. And I thought
Right.
the pineapple juice was like when you get a stroke. Like my grandmother had a couple strokes, and like the words are not always what she says. Like she'll say a word and it'll mean something completely
Yeah, yeah.
different, but like it makes sense to her.
Yeah, because you mentioned it. I think she does go in a loop here of like
Yeah.
asking Fisk almost the same thing, right?
Hmm. Tell me about the memory of how we met.
Right,
Because
right, right.
and then and Fisk is like, I'll tell the story. I felt bad for the nurse. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
like she wakes up, the nurse is like, I gotta do my job. And Fisk is like, get her a damn pineapple juice.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, after being in, like, customer service and stuff that you're kinda used to people just being like, "I don't care what needs to be done, do this," but, like,
No,
it's her
yeah,
health there,
I
like,
totally have. Yeah,
you
we've
gotta you
totally
gotta
had
let
that
them.
experience. Both
Wouldn't
of
you
us.
want them to make sure she's fine after waking up? But
Like,
he's
there's
hanging on to this
priorities
hope.
here.
He's
Mhm.
hanging on to this hope that she's totally fine. He thought I lost her, right?
The
Like,
acting of Vincent D'Onofrio in these scenes, unbelievable. Like,
yeah.
I saw someone say, like, I didn't know I could feel bad for the Kingpin, and I was like, kind of same. Like, it's just a human moment.
And maybe this is where this episode is important with having her live from the last episode. Because I feel like
Hmm.
at the end of the last episode, I was kind of like, that's what you get. That's what you get, Fisk, right?
Yeah,
And
and
it's like
now you're
this,
like,
and now you're kind of like, oh, but we're like seeing him. He thought he had lost her. He gets her back, and then he loses her. It's like this rug
it's
pull.
so much worse. Yeah,
Yeah, it is so much
it's
worse
so
for him.
much worse. And the task force is going to be absolutely
Yeah,
ridiculous now. Like, it is going to be escalated to a point where it doesn't make sense for anybody, any party. Like, he's going to tweet in the middle of the night that an entire civilization will be eliminated.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. A civilization of vigilantes are gonna be taken out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, New York, but you're all gone.
Yeah.
Until we get every single vigilante, you won't be safe. Therefore, we will kill you all.
But I think this might be how we get maybe the turn of
Okay.
Fisk is going to be at a very weak spot here, losing her, and will be going
Hmm.
all out. That maybe that'll make Sheila be like, "I'm going to get that file. I'm going to
Yep.
share it." And then other people maybe starting to turn on him, being like, because maybe he does go something like that with like
Hmm.
hell raising, where people watching on TV are like, "That's kind of not what we voted for," and they start waking up a bit. I don't know.
Well,
That'll be interesting.
one thing I thought about is, what if Fisk decides he has to just say, all right, well, Dex tried to kill me already. Bullseye tried to kill me. You know that. But Matt Murdock was the one who saved me from that. And that was because he's in with him. And like, the more he tells about how much he knows, the more he looks guilty.
Or it could even be like, "That sounds conspiratorial. You sound
Hmm.
nuts." Right?
Yeah,
Like, it could be people being like, "The
true.
blind guy is Daredevil?" I don't know about that, Fisk. Yeah,
Like,
we don't know.
if I'm at Murdoch, I'm just waiting for the time where they're like, "There's no way." Where this the whole city's at this point where they're like, "There's no way a blind guy can be that," and he just goes on like a video and says, "Hey, I'm blind. Um, Karen, throw something at me," and he doesn't catch it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like, "I didn't even see that. Oh yeah, I'm blind. How can I be a vigilante?"
Right, like we said last week at the Maggie Lizer
Yeah,
stuff, right? Just like,
yeah,
really play it up as,
absolutely. And it's
purposely
not
drop
hard to
stuff.
play it up because you've done it for years.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Anything else about this episode that we didn't touch on?
I felt bad for the guy at the church. That's a tough position to be in.
Yeah, because they might take it out
It's
on him. They saw the blood stain, so
right,
they know they were there.
right. I don't like the collateral damage from the do-gooders in this episode. Like,
Mhm.
that scares me. I think the Karen Matt thing is going to be so interesting in the next episode.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a little worried about it, actually, because I like them being happy together. Like, they really laid it on thick the last few episodes about how much they like each other and how good they are. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh god, I don't need drama there. I don't need it, man. I just don't need the drama between uh, Matt and Karen. I don't need it.
Yeah, I'm hoping we don't get it either.
So,
We did get a, night nurse mention, when he's telling Bullseye he knows a
mhm.
nurse that he could take him to,
I was
so
wondering if she was going
okay.
to show up. I really was.
There's rumors she's in Spider-Man, I think? We'll see.
Yeah, I
She
feel
was
like
filming
Rosario Dawson would
Ahsoka.
get a bigger paycheck for that than she would
She
for
well,
Daredevil.
she was filming Ahsoka at the same time in London, so
Uh huh.
it works out
Yeah, right.
distance wise. We'll
It
see.
does. Yeah. When is Ahsoka season 2 coming out?
I would assume either later this year or next year would be my
Okay.
guess. If I was them, I would save it for next year. We got Maul this year. We
And
have
then Grogu.
Grogu this year,
Mm-hmm.
and they could maybe stretch it into next year with that and Starfighter and be in pretty good shape. I think for
Yeah,
20.
that sounds like a good plan.
But we'll see. Okay, did you wanna we got like maybe an extra 10 minutes here. Do you want to talk some Doomsday trailer
Oh, absolutely.
description here?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna find it. I have a description here. Okay, this is from the wrap. So we'll talk about that here. And you know what? Let's do boom. All right. Doomsday. Okay, we hear the words something's coming, something we may not be able to deter over the ruins of the X mansion. We see Doctor Doom kneeling, and his face looked scarred. Some people said he had the mask on the whole time, though, so maybe you can just see the scars
I'm
through
thinking
the
like the
mask.
skin under the eyes.
Maybe.
Like, yeah, through the eye slit.
Thor remarks that he's fought many enemies and threats that scare him less than this, saying all his heroes and friends died. Everything they sacrificed will mean nothing if they don't stand together. We get footage of Thor approaching Doom with Stormbreaker. The Fantastic Four meet the MCU heroes. Shang-Chi fights Gambit. Mystique turns into Yelena. And Thor leaps at Doom with Stormbreaker in hand, and Doom stops it at once. Steve Rogers approaches Thor and says, "Hey, pal." Thor says, "It's not possible." Steve reaches for Mjolnir, and it leaves Thor's hands coming to his. The trailer ends with 12/18/26 is Doomsday.
We're gonna have another you should have aimed for the head moment. It sounds like. And you need that with Thor because Thor's this too cool for school character. He's always too powerful. You need to humanize him and make him
Right.
have an emotional play. So, and it
And
sounds
this
like from
one,
the
from what we've
trailer we
seen,
got,
yeah.
yeah, it was serious and
And
like
it's about his
give me the
daughter.
strength for one more. Yeah,
Right, his
absolutely.
adopted daughter. He wants to make sure she has like a
Hmm.
world to live in,
Look,
right?
that was the one good thing from Love and Thunder, dude. That like
Yeah.
you reframed Thor as a character with a pretty bad movie.
Right. So going forward, he has this baggage of having a daughter that, he now has to kind of uh hopefully make a world good enough for her to grow up and live in, and that is what his arc I guess will be in this. I'm curious about them saying uh Mjolnir, because like he has Stormbreaker, right?
Yeah, so he
Oh,
is
but no, Mjolnir
Stormbreaker.
was reforged, right? That's right.
Yeah,
Jane had it.
by Mighty Jane. Yeah,
That's
Mighty
right.
Jane Foster.
It's been a while since I've seen Love and Thunder, so
To be fair, I
I forget.
haven't rewatched it once. So I've seen it. I believe I've seen it once. So
Yeah, I think me
uh,
too.
yeah. So what's that tell you?
I enjoyed it in theaters. We'll see if it changes. I enjoyed Dark World in theaters, and it changed. So I'll
Well,
I'll see
look,
what happens on my
I
rewatch.
didn't enjoy Dark World in theaters, but I don't enjoy it now. I I appreciate at least for Dark World, I appreciate it with the Loki stuff, the backstory, and it becoming important again. Like I appreciate it. And Love and Thunder is probably going to get that same treatment because, like I said, it reframed the character. But I mean, I enjoyed Gore the God Butcher, and I thought there were some cool scenes. But the tone of the movie drove me nuts.
hmm hmm
You know, it was like there were some things I liked in it. The kids getting the lightning storm at the end. Uh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess one thing that I wanted to mention on this here is and another thing I was reading it made it sound like Steve Rogers meets up with them on the Fantastic Four's ship. So that has led to a lot of speculation that the universe he goes into with Peggy at the end of Endgame ends up being the Fantastic Four universe. I don't think that's how it's going to play out, but I'm thinking maybe they could pick him up along the way.
Well,
I don't know.
is this like pre-incursion or post-incursion?
I guess we don't know.
Because that changes like how I feel about the Captain America stuff.
So I think we're going to get. Look, so Kevin Feige said yesterday that there is a. So called it a kind of a direct continuation from Endgame and also the X-Men movies. So that is one led a lot of people to just be totally thinking that they're ignoring phases 4 and 5. That's not what they mean. What they mean is by this, my guess is we're going to kind of pick up and it's going to be those Steve Rod, kind of like how we started the movie with the Hawkeye stuff in Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be starting with Steve stuff in the past, leaving behind like clean shaven, like we see in his trailer, having a kid. And I think when we see him again later, it sounds like he's got a beard and kind of longer hair again. So my thought is something happens to his nice life back then because of either Dr. Doom is saying this is causing an incursion or they messed with something and whatever, right?
Well,
Because of
and
him
maybe
living
he does more time travel because he might have some Pym particles left.
Right.
So maybe he's like, there's something not right. I'm pulled into a different timeline. That could happen.
So then I'm thinking we'll get like credits, we'll get like a all that kind of stuff. And then later in the movie when we see him, we'll kind of get filled in on maybe what happened to that perfect life he was having for a bit. And then we'll so I guess it depends on what the structure of this movie is, if it's pre-incursion, post-incursion. So there's a rumor going around, and I don't know how accurate this is that the movie's going to start off with Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire being involved with an incursion. I tend not to believe that. I think it'll be cool if it is because it's like, oh,
yeah,
we're gonna like those are people not announced. That's pretty cool if they're in it. I'm not going in thinking that.
Yeah, they could do this very much like Crisis on Infinite Earths, where like in Crisis on Infinite Earth, it's not an incursion, but like the red sky is swallowing up the Earths, and you see all these different worlds.
Yeah, so what people are saying is apparently when you say we hear the word something's coming, something we may not be able to deter over the ruins of X Mansion, somebody referenced that Professor X is looking at something and people think it might be him looking at an incursion. It could also be him looking at the Sentinel and stuff that we saw in the X-Men trailer, right? Like we don't actually know.
Yeah.
It's hard
that
for us to tell.
Trailer was so good.
Yeah, it's hard for us to tell because we haven't seen this trailer that they're talking about.
Yeah,
so,
but the X-Men trailer we got was pretty awesome. So
yeah,
I am looking forward to that a lot.
I guess one thing that's interesting to me is like Shang-Chi fighting Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm really looking forward to, and I've said it a lot, is the Fantastic Four meeting the rest of the MCU because it gives me the Guardians meeting like Thor and team in Infinity War.
Well, in Infinity War, when you get the Guardians music all of a sudden, and like, it really takes a turn. I feel like the movie goes from really like exciting and good to like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? It's just it takes up another gear. I gotta watch Infinity War again. I love that movie. I actually think I'd watch Infinity War more if I liked Endgame more.
Yeah, well, we can't all be perfect and like Endgame the most, like me. So
look, I will give Endgame credit for having the best third act, like the best fight finale of like a superhero movie I might ever see. But like the entire movie, I'll take Infinity War over by a large mile.
What I would say, this is probably controversial because I've been seeing takes on this all the time, but I'll take the first two acts of Endgame over the last act.
I'm done with you, Jordan. Like this is harder than when you said Heath Ledger was a bad Joker. It's like
I didn't say he was a bad one. I said he's not for me.
okay, he's not for you. I I feel like I want to go back to some of the things you said because they weren't kind. But yeah, I disagree with that thing. I was frustrated with the beginning of Endgame. I will say I actually like the middle okay. The beginning, I was like, not feeling this. This first act of Endgame, I'm just not feeling.
I was actually just watching it earlier today because I was watching the last few weeks. I've just been watching tons of like YouTube reaction videos of people watching Infinity War and Endgame, and I've been like,
look on your left, Cap. That finale, you can't beat it. It's not possible to beat it. They stuck the landing. I don't think Endgame is bad. I just don't have the reverence I have for the entire movie of Infinity War. Because Infinity War, I think, is Marvel's best.
Okay, that's a lot of people agree with that, but I will just say
a lot of people think Heath Ledger was a good Joker too. So I mean,
right. So there you go.
But hey, popular consensus doesn't make me right. Lord knows I've gone out on ledges in this show.
Yeah. Okay. Any last thoughts about the trip? We can't speak too much about it because we don't know everything. But
no, I haven't seen enough to really spend. I'm just excited. What I'm getting is whetting my appetite.
It sounds like we get to see Cassie Lang is in the movie. Ant-Man is part of Sam Captain America's team of heroes along with Shang-Chi. So that's a pretty cool
what I want to temper everyone's expectations for is there's so many characters in this movie. So many of them are going to have a small part in this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think people have wrapped their head around that part at all. But I think it'll be very centered around Captain America and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four coming into the main group. That I think that's the main block. And Reed Richards coming into this when you don't have Tony, and then you get a Tony opposite basically with Doom. That's cool. They need Reed.
Yeah, and it sounds like he has the accent. So we'll see.
Although the brains of the operation in the Fantastic Four movie was actually Johnny. So if you really want to get into it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here. At Soups and Sabers on all of our social media for following us along as we continue our journey through Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which continues next week with Requiem. And then we have The Hateful Darkness and The Southern Cross as the last 3 episodes here. So.
That's bars. Those titles are bars. I like that.
Yeah, and then we have Punisher Special, One Last Kill after that. And so that's what we're looking forward to here. Thank you all for watching and listening along, and we'll catch you next time when we talk episode 6.